There's a 2015 Subaru WRX sitting on a lot in Phoenix right now with 74,000 miles on it. 6-speed manual, cloth seats, no heated steering wheel, number 12-inch touchscreen. The asking price is $31,000. The dealer who took it on trade 6 months ago almost wholesaled it for $18,000. He did not, because 3 buyers called about it within 48 hours of the listing going live. None of them haggled. One offered full asking price over the phone without a test drive. That dealer now has a standing order with every auction house he works with. Manual transmission, any make, any condition, call him first. He is not alone. Auction buyers who spend careers flipping automatics are quietly changing their buying strategy. Independent mechanics who built their businesses servicing new vehicles are telling their best customers the same thing in private. Get a clean manual while you still can. This is not nostalgia. This is not a car enthusiast hobby. This is a calculated financial and practical decision being made by people who looked at where the automotive market is heading and decided to get off the train before it leaves the station permanently. This is a full story of why the manual transmission is disappearing, who engineered its disappearance, and why the people who figure it out first are sitting on appreciating assets, while every new car on every dealer lot around them bleeds value the moment it rolls off the lot. Let's start with the lie they told you, so well you never thought to question it. The official story is clean and simple. Automatic transmissions evolved. 8 and 10-speed gearboxes became faster shifting than any human hand. Fuel economy on automatics matched and then exceeded manuals. Buyers stopped wanting 3 pedals. The manual transmission died a natural market-driven death. Progress moved on. That story was written by the same companies that profit from what replaced it. In 1980, approximately 35% of all new vehicles sold in the United States came with a manual transmission. By 2023, that number had fallen to 1.3%. The industry presents that collapse as the natural voice of the consumer. What they never mention is a series of deliberate decisions made between those 2 data points that guaranteed the outcome before consumers ever had a real choice. It starts in 2012. The EPA revised its fuel economy testing methodology and changed how multi-speed automatics were credited in manufacturer fleet calculations. Modern 8 and 10-speed automatics were now calculated as meeting fuel economy targets more efficiently than manuals, even in real-world driving where much of that efficiency evaporates under load. Automakers ran the numbers and found they could hit federal regulatory targets more cheaply by phasing manuals out entirely. The financial incentive to offer a stick shift was not gradually eroded. It was restructured out of existence by a regulatory change that received almost zero consumer press coverage. Then the insurance data entered the picture and quietly stayed there. Multiple major insurers documented through claims records that manual transmission vehicles had significantly lower theft rates than equivalent automatics. The reason is blunt. A growing percentage of car thieves under 30 cannot competently operate a clutch pedal. A 3-pedal car sitting unlocked with the keys in it is statistically safer in certain zip codes than a locked automatic with an alarm system. That data existed. It was never used in a single manufacturer marketing campaign because the manufacturers had already decided manuals were going away and no actuarial table was changing the direction of the profit calculation. Modern automatic transmissions are not just mechanical devices. They are data infrastructure. Every shift event, every throttle input, every torque request, every braking intervention is logged in real time by the transmission control module and fed into the vehicle's central telematics system. That data belongs to the manufacturer. In 17 states, it is currently legal for that data to be sold to insurance companies, marketing data brokers, and third-party analytics firms without the vehicle owner's knowledge or explicit consent. General Motors was caught selling driving behavior data from OnStar connected vehicles to insurance aggregators in 2023. The practice was entirely legal. The only reason it became public is because a journalist filed a specific data request. A manual transmission operated by your left foot and right hand generates 0 loggable shift data for any external system. There is no transmission control module making decisions. There is no torque converter slip ratio being calculated and stored. There is no connectivity dependency, no over-the-air update pathway. no manufacturer server that needs to communicate with your gearbox to keep it functioning correctly. You cannot be updated. You cannot be throttled. You cannot be remotely recalibrated. The mechanical relationship between your clutch pedal, your gear lever, and your drive shaft exists entirely outside the digital infrastructure that manufacturers are systematically building around every other drivetrain component in every vehicle they currently sell. For the buyers making calculated decisions in today's market, that mechanical independence is not a side benefit. It is the entire value proposition. Now, let's talk about what is actually leaving the market and how permanently. In the 2024 model year, fewer than 28 new vehicle models sold in America offered a manual transmission at any trim level. In 2010, that number was over 100. In a single decade, available choice collapsed by more than 70%. The remaining holdouts are on published discontinuation schedules. Honda confirmed the Civic Si loses its manual after the current generation. Subaru's internal product planning documents indicated the WRX manual is under active review for elimination after 2026. Toyota dropped the Tacoma manual quietly for 2024 with no press release. It was simply gone from the order sheet. Ford eliminated manual options from the F-150, the Explorer, the Edge, and the Ranger relaunch. The Bronco kept a manual briefly, made it allocation only, and has been quietly reducing availability every model year since. There is no manufacturer with a publicly announced plan to expand manual transmission availability. The discontinuation schedule moves in one direction only. Here is what that means in the used market with mathematical certainty. When new manual supply reaches functional zero, the existing pool of clean low-mileage examples becomes a permanently fixed and continuously shrinking asset. Every accident that totals a clean Civic Si removes one from the supply forever. Every clutch that burns out in a neglected example and sends a car to the crusher removes another. Every high-mileage example that gets scrapped permanently removes another. The supply floor has no mechanism for replenishment once new production stops. Mannheim and Odessa auction data from 2021 through 2024 documents the result already happening. A 2016 Mazda MX-5 with a 6-speed manual and under 40,000 miles has appreciated 34% in 3 years. A 2014 Honda Civic Si in clean condition is up 28%. A 2015 Subaru WRX manual with a clean Carfax routinely clears $27,000 at auction, more than its original MSRP. These are mass-market commuter cars built in the hundreds of thousands going up in value, while every automatic equivalent follows the standard depreciation curve downward. The people buying now are not late, but the window is measurably narrowing every quarter. The financial case is real, but the ownership case is what the automotive press consistently buries. A conventional manual transmission contains approximately 800 individual components. A modern 10-speed automatic contains over 1,200. A dual-clutch transmission, the technology being marketed as a performance replacement for manual, contains over 1,400 components and requires $400 fluid services every 40,000 miles at the dealer. A clutch replacement on a Honda Civic runs $600 to $900 at an independent shop. A torque converter replacement on an equivalent automatic runs $1,200 to $1,800. A dual-clutch mechatronic unit failure, the specific failure mode behind class action lawsuits against Ford, Volkswagen, and Hyundai, cost between $2,800 and $4,500 to repair. The Ford PowerShift dual clutch installed in millions of Focus and Fiesta models between 2011 and 2016 generated over 2,000 NHTSA complaints and a $35 million class action settlement. Ford continued selling that transmission for 5 model years after the failure pattern was internally documented and known. A manual transmission has no mechatronic unit, no torque converter, no transmission control module, requiring a dealer scan tool to interrogate. When the synchronizer on third gear starts grinding, any competent independent mechanic diagnoses it by sound and feel. The parts are available from 12 different suppliers worldwide at commodity prices. The repair requires no software license and no dealership appointment. A technology that costs less to maintain cannot be remotely disabled, generates no harvested data, is reparable with hand tools by any trained mechanic, and is currently appreciating in value, is not obsolete. It is inconvenient for an industry whose entire service revenue model depends on complexity that only they can resolve. Here is what the smartest buyers in the current market are specifically targeting. The hoarding is not random. It is concentrated in 4 categories that share specific characteristics. High production volume means parts availability stays strong for decades. Conservative engineering means properly maintained examples reach 200,000 miles without catastrophic failures. Mainstream enough that independent mechanics anywhere can service them without specialty equipment. And rare enough in manual configuration that clean examples are already commanding premiums. Japanese sport compacts are the primary target. Clean Honda Civic Si models from 2012 through 2021, the Mazda 3 with a 6-speed from 2014 through 2018, and the Subaru WRX from 2015 through 2021 are being absorbed from the market faster than equivalent automatics from the same years. These cars were engineered with enough mechanical margin that a well-maintained example bought today at 80,000 miles has a realistic path to 200,000 with nothing more than fluid changes, a clutch replacement, and basic wear items. The total maintenance cost over that second 120,000 miles is a fraction of what a dual clutch or 10-speed automatic would cost to keep alive over the same distance. Japanese trucks and SUVs are the second category. A clean Toyota Tacoma with a manual from 2005 through 2023 is approaching near collectible pricing. The last generation Tacoma manual was discontinued after 2023 with no replacement announced. Supply is permanently fixed. Every clean example that surfaces at auction gets absorbed within days. The same dynamic is developing around FJ Cruiser manual configurations, though those numbers were always small enough that pricing already reflects scarcity. Pre-2000 domestic trucks are the third category, and the one most buyers miss entirely. A clean 1990s Chevrolet K1500 or C1500 with the NV 3500 5-speed manual is crossing the 25-year historic vehicle exemption threshold right now. Immune from emissions testing in most states. No proprietary diagnostic equipment required. Every mechanical component available from multiple suppliers at prices that have not moved significantly in a decade. And unlike everything currently on a dealer lot, it appreciates when you maintain it instead of depreciating on a fixed schedule regardless of condition. The fourth category is the one that creates the most urgency right now. Any manual transmission vehicle within 3 years of crossing the 25-year historic exemption threshold in a high-demand state. These are the cars whose pricing has not yet fully reflected their incoming exemption status. Once they cross that threshold and the emissions testing requirement drops permanently, demand accelerates and pricing follows. The buyers who understand this dynamic are buying a year before crossing, not after, before you go out and buy the first 3 pedal car you find. Hear the reality clearly. Not every manual transmission vehicle is a smart acquisition. The Ford PowerShift dual clutch is technically a manual gearbox, and it is one of the worst transmissions built in the last 20 years. Avoid it completely regardless of price. A poorly maintained clutch on any vehicle can hide significant damage that a casual test drive will not reveal. Always commission an independent pre-purchase inspection from a mechanic who knows the specific make. Check clutch engagement point carefully. High engagement near the top of pedal travel indicates a clutch near the end of its service life. Feel for shudder or slip under load on a steep grade. Look at transmission fluid color if accessible. Dark discolored fluid in a manual gearbox indicates heat damage from consistent abuse. Buy the cleanest, lowest mileage example your budget allows. The long-term value gap between a clean 60,000-mile example and a worn 140,000-mile example of the same car widens significantly over time as clean examples become genuinely difficult to find. The automotive industry will tell you the manual transmission died because drivers stopped wanting it. What actually happened is that manufacturers stopped offering it because complexity generates more service revenue than simplicity. Electronic control enables data collection that mechanical control makes impossible, and a vehicle you can fully repair yourself with basic hand tools at an independent shop does not produce the captive service dependency that a modern dealership business model requires to survive. The drivers who figured that out are not buying manual cars because they enjoy the feeling of a clutch pedal on a Tuesday morning commute. They are buying them because they look clearly at what is disappearing, why it is disappearing, and exactly who benefits from its disappearance. And then they made a different decision than the one the industry designed the market to push them toward. The question we want to leave you with is this. If you could buy a brand new manual transmission car tomorrow, same sticker price as an automatic, full manufacturer warranty, identical fuel economy numbers on the window sticker, would you buy it? Or have 10 years of being told automatics are better already quietly change what you believe you want? Drop it in the comments.